My name is Julia Zink. I work in the Bavarian Forest National Park in the field of digital visitor management.
Okay, so I think we jump right into the first question. Is the national park accessible all year round, and how many employees are engaged here?
So the national park is accessible all year round. Of course, there are some restrictions. We have zoning within the national park. There are two zones which are relevant for visitors, and in the core zone, which are the main habitats of sensitive species like capercaillie, for example, there it is not allowed to leave the trails. And we also have some game reserves where in winter it is not allowed to enter those, but they are just small parts of the national park. But in general, it is allowed to go to the national park and visit the area all year round. And at the moment, we have about 230 employees in different fields working in the national park.
And why and in which way can touristic excursions have a positive impact on eco-friendly systems such as the Bavarian Forest National Park?
Excursions or visitation in general in the national park, it has of course an impact on the environment, which is not always positive, but of course it is also important to show people the nature and the dynamic of nature and natural processes, and people only can protect what they know and what they know, have information about. So it's also really important to show them all those things going on in the national park, to raise awareness about nature.
What are the main components within the national park with sustainability focus?
I would say that sustainability in its very original way, it originates from the forestry. So there's this, it is said that you should not take out more wood from the forest that is growing. So in this way we are very sustainable because we don't take out any wood. I guess that's the most sustainable focus we have. But of course we also want to support sustainable tourism, for example, and sustainable recreation.
Has the national park received any sustainability awards, and if so, which ones?
We didn't directly receive sustainability awards, but for example, we also didn't apply for any, I think, as far as I know. But for example, we are Fahrziel Naturgebiet. That's a cooperation it's about supporting sustainable transport in the areas of protected areas. And this award also, or this cooperation, and also won a prize recently. And I think the Bavarian Forest, it's not only the national park, but the whole region, won an award about this, but some years ago.
For how long has the national park existed, and how has it changed over the years?
The national park was founded in 1970, so it exists now since 53 years. It's the oldest national park in Germany, so I can't tell any such long. I don't have such long experiences from the back because I don't work here for so long, of course, but it has changed a lot. So as the first national park, you also have to make first experiences in this field in this country. And I think really, milestones were, for example, the first bark beetle infestations, which was really, really new in Germany. Nobody knew it. The forest was dead in really large areas, and people were protesting hardly against the national park. But today, they see that the forest is growing again, and it's not lost like people thought decades ago.
How is the Bavarian Forest National Park preserved, and which UN Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, or sustainable measures come into play?
To be honest, the SDGs don't really play an important role for our everyday work. So I know that they exist, of course, and we want to pay respect to sustainability, but it's not so important in our everyday work.
And how many kinds of trees and animals can be found in the national park?
That's difficult to say. In total, there are about 14,000 species in the national park. The main tree species are beech, fir and spruce. But there are of course also more tree species, and the most iconic animal species are lynx, wolf, red deer, capercaillie, wildcat and so on.
What includes recommended equipment for excursions, for example hiking tours in the park?
We always recommend to be equipped with good shoes, and also, for example, a hiking map, so general hiking equipment, clothing for weather conditions, for example, rain clothing, in summer, of course, sun protection, and of course also drinking water enough, and in case you needed some food, of course.
Okay. And do you actively recommend that to also use outdoor platforms such as Outdoor Active to the visitors?
Yes, on our tour recommendations we include a sentence about be well equipped, be careful of dead wood and don't leave any garbage.
Okay.
So that's a general advice for every tour recommendation.
How many visitors come to the national park during the peak touristic season?
So in numbers it's a bit difficult to say. In general we have about 1.3 million visitors per year. And the main touristic season is summer season, and the main peak is in August, so in the holiday season.
Which qualifications are required to work in the Bavarian Forest National Park?
That really much depends on in which field you are working. We have many different professions. For example, geographers, landscape planners, landscape architects, foresters and biologists, wildlife ecologists working in the research department, but also climate change researchers and carpenters, animal caretakers and so on.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.